Stomach, the sac-like muscular enlargement of digestive tract between esophagus and intestine is stomach. Serves for temporary storage and maceration of solid food for preliminary stages of digestion. True stomach is not present in protocortex, cyclostomes, chimeras, lungfishes, and some primate only when its epithelial lining contains gastric glands. It is properly called a true stomach. Absence of stomach is an ancestral trait. A well-developed stomach occurs in Lasmobrax and tetrapods. The anterior end of stomach connecting to esophagus is nearer heart, therefore called cardiac end. Main sac-like portion is termed body. The caudal end connected to intestine is called pyloric end. It terminates at a pyloric valve or sphincter called pylorus. Stomach is straight in vertebrate embryos and may retain so throughout life in lower vertebrates. Cyclostomes, gar, belon, salamander. It is long and spindle-shaped in snakes and many lizards with elongated and narrow bodies. It forms a white curved tube in turtles and tortoises. More often, flexures develop, producing a I-shaped or U-shaped stomach, like Elasmobranchs, Gobia, Silman. The stomach exhibits a short concave border called lesser curvature and a large convex border called greater curvature. As you can see, like in mammal, a short concave border and a large convex border. Then if we see here, expansion of greater curvature forms the fundus region. In crocodiles and seed-eating birds, stomach is divided into an anterior thin-walled proventriculus with gastric glands and followed by thick-walled, highly muscular gizzard. The latter has a tough, horny lining and contains small stone pieces or pebbles called gastrolith, which help to maceration of food. Stomach of mammals' greatest modification. It may be a simple sac or divided into cardiac, fundus, and pyloric regions, each region with its characteristic gastric glands. In carp-chewing mammals or ruminants, stomach has four well-defined compartments. The first three chambers, rumen, reticulum, and omasum, are claimed to be the modifications of esophagus and serve as reservoirs of food. Only the last chamber, which is the abomasum, represents true stomach containing gastric glands comprising of the usual parts cardiac, fundus, and pyloric. In camel, omasum is absent and the pouch-like water cells projecting from rumen and reticulum probably help in digestion but do not serve for storage of water as generally believed. A pyloric blood sac base serves to store blood. A true stomach is wanting in monotremes. It is represented by a wide sac devoid of glands internally and is lined throughout by stratified epithelium. Let's see a ruminant stomach. Rumen, reticulum, omasum, and abomasum. Here we can see different types of stomach. You can see the mammal, the pigeon, the ruminants. Small intestine, the part of digestive tract following stomach is intestine in which digestion and absorption of food take place. It is the most important part of digestive tract and undergoes several modifications in vertebrates. In cyclostomes, in Elasmobranchs, some primitive bony fishes, and occasional teleos, intestine is short, straight, and wide tube. Its lumen contains a spiral valve which compensates for the short absorptive area. Teleos and tetrapod intestine is without a spiral valve, greatly elongated, coiled, and further differentiated into anterior small intestine and a posterior large intestine. Small intestine is the chief site of digestion and absorption. Its internal surface bears numerous small finger-like projection or villi, increases the absorptive area. Many bony fishes have one to several pyloric cecae rising from small intestine. Large number of digestive glands also present in small intestine. They are tubular called scripts of Leverkuhn. found all along the length of intestine, secrete mucus and group of enzyme called succus and tricus. First part of small intestine is the duodenum. It is short, starts at the pyloric valve and terminates beyond its entrance of ducts from pancreas and liver into it. It is characteristic Brunner's gland in submucosa and also secretes hormones for stimulating pancreas and gallbladder and release their juices. Duodenum is followed by remaining intestine called ileum, which is narrow, greatly elongated, and much coiled. Only in mammals we also see the jejunum. The duodenum is divided into an anterior 2/5 jejunum and a posterior 3/5 ileum. Nodules of lymphoid tissues called Peyer's patches are found in ileum. However, the division is somewhat arbitrary and based on differences in shape of their villi and in nature of their glands and walls. Large intestine of most amphibians is wider than small intestine. It's straight, short, and leads into a posterior terminal chamber, the cloaca. Cloaca also receives the urinary genital ducts and opens to outside through a cloacal aperture. In reptiles, birds, and mammals, large intestine is longer and divided into a proximal colon and a distal rectum, later ending into cloaca, the rectum. All mammals except the mammotremes and many bony fishes lack a cloaca. Except mammotremes and bony fishes lack a cloaca. The rectum opens directly outside through anus, while the urinary and genital ducts also open independently. In tetrapods, ileocecal valve is present at the junction of small and large intestine but absent in fishes. It prevents bacteria and colon from entering ileum. In amniotes, at the ileocolic junction is found ileocolic cecum, usually 2 in birth. This contains cellulose digesting bacteria and is very long, even coiled in such herbivorous animals. Man, monkey, and apes have a small cecum bearing a vestigial vermiform appendix. The rectal gland marks as cecum that secretes sodium chloride. Then we will also read the digestive glands. Liver occurs in all vertebrates in the largest gland of the body. It arises as a single or double vein diverticulum from the floor of embryonic duodenum. This liver bud or rudiment soon divides into anterior and posterior parts. The anterior part branches repeatedly to become the liver proper of the adult animal. Posterior part from the gallbladder, cystic duct, and common bile duct, receiving numerous hepatic ducts from the liver proper emptying into duodenum. Shape and distribution into lobes of adult liver varies in different vertebrates. Color is also variable. True liver is absent in protochordate. Hepatic cecum of Amphioxus and digestive glands of Ascidians have somewhat different characters. Cyclotomes, it is small and single-lobed in lampreys but two-lobed in hagfish. Liver is elongated, narrow, and cylindrical in fishes, iridoles, and snakes, but short, broad, and flattened in birds and mammals. It is bilobed in elasmobranchs, two-lobed in teleosts, amphibians, reptiles, and birds, and many-lobed in mammals. Liver is usually large in carnivores than herbivores. Liver cells manufacture alkaline bile, which is stored in gallbladder before getting reduced into duodenum. Bile contains no digestive enzyme, nevertheless, it releases acidity of liquid food or calm intestinal aids in fat digestion and absorption. Pancreas is also a constant structure called vertebrate's second largest digestive gland after plays a crucial dual role. It partly exocrine, secreting digestive enzymes through pancreatic ducts and duodenum, and partly endocrine, secreting hormones such as insulin. No pancreas in lancelet. In lampreys, some teleosts, lungfish, and water it is distributed diffusely in liver, the intestinal wall, and probably only exocrine in function. In elasmobranchs and hydrotrapod, pancreas is well defined and compact. We can see the structure of the digestive tract. Fish is long, straight. In elasmobranchs, it has spiral valve. You can see a slightly flattened and broad. Amphibians also long and coiled. Reptilian also long and coiled. In bird, we can see the proventriculus, the gizzard. In human, in mammals, we can see the esophagus, fungus, duodenum, ileum. Also in the large intestine, you can see the cecum, colon, rectum, and anus.